Lazy loading. So lazy loading is basically a feature for loading our web pages, or like loading our components. When the faster rate, it helps us load our components in faster rate without affecting the network. So I have a project here. So this is a project. It contains a lot of components. There is a home component, navbar, and sign-in component. Sign-in page is this component takes us to the sign-in page, and we have a lot of other components like we have component for button, card, footer, etc. So when we load this project in our browser, like here, this is the project, so we can inspect it and look at the network. When we refresh it, yeah. So when we refresh this, we get all this from the network. All this data is coming from the network about this page. So all these are our components and all the different things like home page, the images are here. So all this takes some time and all they have their own size. Like some of them are 302 bytes, 300 bytes, 512 KBs. So lazy routing basically allows us to decrease these sizes so we don't affect loading up our pages in when we loading our projects. So here's a demo. I've actually made it here and implemented lazy loading in our app. Like this is it. So we are doing this. We are importing lazy loading. We are importing the component here, the home component dynamically. Implement lazy loading. We have to do this and import it in a constant here, and we will apply this in our route. So this allows us to have made a mistake here. That So now we have implemented lazy loading for our home page component. Now we can see we have a lot less size for our components here. If we throttle the network in slow 3G, okay, loading. First we saw a loading prompt and it's loading. This is useful for like when we are using a slow internet connection like DG, 2G or something, or we have a very big page to load. This helps in loading the page in a like a small chunk. I don't know, some I think something big. Sorry. So I think there is a problem with the output. I have to debug it.
Not an issue with the code even we were selecting the network. Okay, so based on your fast 3G and slow 3G, that's taking time to load the bundle.
Yeah.
You can see it's taking
Yeah.
more time to load. Yes, it will work.
Yeah, I think
Wait for a
the
minute.
component is
Yeah,
very big. That's
yes,
why
yes,
it's
yes.
losing
The
it.
size you can see, you can check the size, right? So some of the component is 4.3 MB.
Yeah.
Cool. That's why it was taking time. Okay, go ahead.
So as we can see here, we have loaded our home page. This component has loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So it took some time because the bundle size is not too big. I didn't expect that much in this slow network. So in no throttling, it's not a problem. It
Mm-hmm.
will load very fast. Yeah. We saw the loading for a moment, then loaded. All the components were loaded earlier, then this one loaded. Only this one loaded because we have put it in lazy load mode. So everything loads first, then this will be loaded as per required.
Okay, so can you explain the code how you achieve this load loading? So what are the things
Yes,
you used?
this is the code here.
Mm-hmm.
So for like if we have just routed this home component,
Uh-huh.
like the home component is here. If I had to normally load this one, I had to just I would have just done this one
Yeah.
like this. import home, home and, and do this. So this is our normal routing. Sorry.
Okay. So like that, we can achieve the normal thing, right? Okay.
Listen.
Yeah. So can you show the lazy loading things? How you why we using lazy, and there is some also I see some suspense things, right?
So I have not used lazy loading in this case.
Uh-huh.
So if I go to this the our page and load, now I'm loading. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
In normal no throttling mode,
Hmm.
we took some time.
Yes.
It took a lot of time, and the size will be also very big. So the bundle size is 4.3 MB. It took some time.
Hmm.
So by doing this, it breaks the what we say, the whole page loading time. It increases the whole page loading time. The whole component, all these components will load up after this one. Everything is loaded. So that's why we are using lazy load, so that in slow network we can uh, improve the loading time of our page.
Okay.
Lazy
So.
loading will allow us to load all the components, those are small in size, or those are required to load first.
Hmm.
Then we only those components which we have lazy loaded, those will take some time, or when required they will load. Like when I require the home page, the home component, like I'm going to sign in page, it doesn't have any lazy loading because it's small in size. I don't want it to lazy load. Although we can apply a lazy load on anything, I can even apply lazy load on these small components if they are needed to be lazy loaded. So here, lazy loading will help us to improve our page load times, basically. So like if I go to slow and I reload the page, yeah, the whole page took some time to load. So when I apply lazy loading here,
Do control Z. Huh?
I have to do a lot of control. So it also takes a suspense. It's usually for so we are using here promise. It returns a promise. No? This is a promise. So before importing is a promise we are getting from lazy. The lazy. That's why we are using a suspense. The whole component will be under a background suspense, or we can use a whole. We can use anything. We can even go. We can even include a page to show or a component to show instead of loading, but we are using it here.
Okay.
I think there is some problem with the code.
No, no, it's not a problem with code. It's a size issue, and you are selecting the some other network like fast 3G. So maybe that network is also not good. So that's why. I think it's around 4 MB. So let's wait for that. It's a 2.23.
Actually, I have used some hard-coded images in a
Yeah, yeah,
project.
that's why. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. I have not actually used small images, which I should have. This image is
No,
also
that
very.
not an issue. That not an issue. So this is the learning phase, right? So you can see you can see like now page is loaded. Okay. Okay. So I will conclude this session for the lazy loading. So basically in lazy loading, so there are why we use lazy loading first. So there is two things. One thing we can do the code splitting, okay, and second thing to loading the React component. Whatever you showed, right? This is for loading a React component, okay. And second thing is code splitting. So going forward, like you can also work on that. We can use lazy loading while code splitting. Suppose we have long code, right? So that you can split it into multiple way and use it lazy loading to load it. So two things we can do, and we were using a term called suspense, right? And it's taking the props called fallback. So basically every lazy things, right, need one things to either you want to show some messages while loading or some loader, right? So some loader while loading the page. So if you are using the fallback, right, you can suspense that use fallback. So basically what it's doing, so actually with the help of suspense we can use multiple lazy logging component inside that, and we can the fallback, right, whatever the props you are passing, that will use in all the things. So that's why these two concepts we use. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think we are good to go, and it's a really nice demo, and thanks for that. Okay.